Hey everyone, and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today I have the first tutorial I'm going to share based on the December 2021 Gina's picks that I did in collaboration with EurekaCrystalBeads.com. I'll link that video in the corner if you hadn't seen it, but basically I had picked out a selection of products and I'll be back with a series of tutorials using those particular items, and that selection was based around a theme called Cocoa Confections, which incorporates a lot of these chocolatey and white chocolate and pink and mauve tones that you see here. We'll be making the bracelet in the brown colorway, and that silver one is just an additional option that I whipped up to show you how it can look if you decide to use totally different colors. I'll leave the links for everything that you'll need right down below the video from Eureka Crystal Beads. Also check out all the different color options that they have and have fun with that. You can also use the coupon code 10OPAL to save 10% off your purchase of $50 or more through the end of this month, so I will leave that down below as well. As you can see with this bracelet, we'll be using some of these 6mm twisted Miyuki bugle beads that are just so fun. Also some 15-0 seed beads, some 11-0 Delicas, and some 11-0 Toho Demi round seed beads as well. If I flip this over to the back, you can see that I also have the size 8-0 Hexagon cut seed beads by Toho, and I just love the little bit of shimmer that these particular ones have, and it pops up a little bit on the front, as you can see there. I'll be using some 6-pound FireLine today, as well as a size 10 beading needle. You can start out with a comfortable length and just know you'll probably have to add on more thread as the design progresses. I'll be making approximately a 7-inch bracelet today, and it may be about a 7¼ inch bracelet considering the toggle clasp, so keep that in mind. You're welcome to make this bracelet as long or as short as you want. And depending on the size of the toggle clasp that you use, or whatever clasp you use, just keep in mind that that is going to change the length of the finished product. I've got my needle threaded here, so I'm just going to get myself set up and then we can jump into this tutorial. Alright, for this bracelet, we're just going to jump right into the beadwork and worry about the ends and the clasp at the end. So what we want to do first is pick up 2 of our bugle beads, and you can string those down and leave yourself a tail thread that you can weave back in later. And alternately, you can leave yourself about a 10 to 12 inch tail if you want to use that to attach one side of your clasp at the end of the piece and you don't want to add in a new thread. So just decide on that for yourself. And you can also use a stop bead if you're more comfortable, but you don't have to. Now what you're going to do is sew through these bugles again. First, I'm going to go through that first bugle, and that's going to bring these 2 together when you pull the beads. Now I'm going to go down through the next bugle, and I'm going to go up through that first bugle just one more time, just to get our beadwork secure right here. And that's going to kind of act as a stop bead in a way, because it's not going to want to move up and down the piece. Now you can pick up a hexagon, a Delica, a Demi, a Delica, and a hexagon, and you can go down through the next bugle bead and pull. Then to match this side over here, you want to pick up a hexagon, a Delica, a Demi, a Delica, and a hexagon, and this time you'll go up through that first bugle bead, and then you'll go down through the next bugle. So you have something like this so far, and now we're ready to pick up a new bugle. And we're going to go down through the bugle that we're currently exiting, just through that other side. When we pull this, it's going to sit that third one right next to the others. And we're going to pick up a 15-0, a Demi, and a 15-0, and then sew back through that new bugle that we just added. And those 15-0s and Demis are going to sit on the front, and that'll be easier as we go. Now we're going to pick up another bugle, sew back through this brand new bugle that we're currently exiting through the other hole and bring these together. Just pull those nice and tight. And now to match this side, pick up a 15-0, a demi, a 15-0, and then head down through this bugle, which is the third one from the newest one, and then just head up the next bugle and come out behind those 15-0s. There we go. So now we're in position to add another segment of our hexagon. So like we did before, we're going to pick up a hexagon, a delica, a demi, a delica, and a hexagon. And then we're going to sew down through that newest bugle bead. Pull that, and those will sit right behind those 15-0 seed beads. And then to match this side, pick up a hexagon, delica, demi, delica, and a hexagon, and sew up the bugle that is right next to that, going behind the 15-0s. Pull, and you have something that looks like this. Next, go down that newest bugle bead, and you're ready to keep repeating this the entire length of your bracelet. So once again, we're going to pick up a bugle, go down through the other side of the bugle we're currently coming out of, then pick up a 15-0, a demi, and a 15-0. Then you can go down through that new bugle bead, and go ahead and pick up a new bugle bead, go back through this newest bugle, opposite side, pull tight to bring that all together, add another 15-0, demi, and 15-0, go down through the bugle bead there on the left, then go up the next bugle bead going behind the 15-0s, and add in your next segment of hexagons. So hexagon, delica, demi, delica, hexagon, go down through the newest bugle bead, get those in place behind the 15-0s, and add in another segment of the hexagons. Go up through the second to the last bugle bead, making sure you're just coming out of the bugle. Pull nice and tight, and then go down through that last bugle bead. So that is what you're going to keep repeating the entire length of your bracelet. And to get the length that I have in my finished piece, I used a total of 60 bugle beads. Once you get to that point, then you can stop and I will meet you back and we'll continue on with the next steps. All right, everyone, and welcome back. So you should have something that looks like this. I've got about 6.5 inches here of beadwork, which is the length that I'm happy with. So once you have the length that you're happy with, we can go ahead and proceed on. And I am coming out of this bugle bead right here, and where we want to be is coming out of one of these demi beads in between the two 15-0s. So I'm just going to go down this way through the next bugle, and then I'm going to head up through the next bugle bead. So I'm coming out of the third bugle bead from the end at this point, and then I'm going to go up through the 15-0 and the demi that are up here. And we're going to be adding in additional demi seed beads, connecting one of these demis here on the lower portion to one of the demis on the outer portion. So we're going to pick up 3 demis. Then I'm going to go up here, head through the demi that is on the upper portion, just like that. And then I'm going to head down the delica, down the hex, down the next bugle, down the hexagon and through the next Delica. And I'm going to come out of the Demi that's down here. Once I'm down there, I'm in position to add 3 more Demis because we want to match what we have on the other side. And I'm going to go through the Demi and the 15-0. Just like that. So we have this additional detail on the edges that's starting to form. And we can just continue by going through that very next bugle, up through the next Delica, and then through the next Demi. Now that we're here, we can pick up 3 more Demis, go diagonally through the Demi on the lower portion as well as the next 15-0. Now we've got that second little stripe in place. We can head down through the next bugle to get us to this side. And I'm going to head through the 15-0 and the Demi. Then pick up 3 Demis. And then head through that Demi on the end as well as the Delica. And then I'm going to flip this over so it's a little easier to see. And I'm going to go down the next hex bead and down the next bugle. Flip it back over. There we go. So we've got now 2 of those in place, and we want to get over to our next section. So coming out of this bugle, now we'll just weave back down through the next bugle, making sure you're not going through any other beads. Then we can go through the next bugle and head up through the hex and the Delica on this side as well as the next Demi. Now we're in position to add 3 more Demis. So we'll do that going down through the Demi and the 15-0, through the bugle to get to the other side, up through the 15-0 and the Demi. Pick up our 3 more Demis, go through the Demi and the Delica, and you can also go down through the hex and the next bugle and pull. And then like we did before, we'll just go back through the next bugle bead. You may have to kind of fold those edges down a little bit as you're going through the bugles to make it easier to get through those. And then we'll head up through the next bugle bead. And also with this one, come out of the hexagon and the Delica and the next Demi to get us in place to repeat that pattern. So keep doing that all the way to the other side of your bracelet, and then we will meet back and I'll show you how to attach the clasp. All right, and welcome back. So once your bracelet looks like this, you've got those extra embellishments along either side, you're ready to attach your clasp. And I'm just coming out of this hexagon bead right here on the end. That's where I'm going to attach one part of the toggle clasp. And I'm going to pick up 3 hexagons, 3 15-0s, and 3 more hexagons. Once I have that on my needle, I'm then going to swing around and go through the hexagon on the other side as well as the bugle. And I'm going to continue through all of these beads one more time. And back up through the bugle. And through the hexagon. And then when I'm coming out of the hexagon again right there on the corner, I'm going to pick up 3 15-0s before I proceed through the next 3 hexagons. And then I'm going to go through the next 2 15-0s. Once we have that, we are ready to start making a loop to attach the clasp. You're welcome to attach your clasp directly, or you can just create a loop. You can also use a wire guard if you want to do that. But today we'll just go ahead and attach this directly. So I picked up 3 15-0s, then picked up the toggle bar, and then 3 more 15-0s. And now I'm going to return through the same 15-0 that we just exited. Pull this together so it's tightening up. And then I'm going to go through the 15-0s and the toggle bar again just to reinforce it. And I'm going to go down through the next 2 15-0s as well as the 3 Hexagon beads. And then I'm going to pick up 3 15-0s so that we match our other side right there. And then just proceed through the hexagon and the bugle. So that's how you can attach one side of your clasp. You'll do the exact same thing on the other side. So you can add an additional thread right there if you want to. You also have the option of attaching one side of your clasp before you do the part where you swing back around and make that embellishment. There's more than one way to do things, as usual in most beading projects, so that's up to you. But just match whatever you did on this side on the other side, and then you're good to go. And once you've attached your clasp, you can then go ahead and weave in your working thread and make several half-hitch knots, hiding them through some beads. If you want to tighten up the center channel of the bugle beads even more, maybe you didn't get them quite as even or as tight as you wanted to at first, you can weave back through those and they will tighten right up. And then your bracelet is complete. So here again are the 2 original bracelets.